Good morning, Earthlings. How you doing today? Welcome to First Contact Radio. Let's jump on over to our cosmic weather for today, see what's going on out there we need to deal with. All right, we had an X-class flare yesterday. Our solar wind currently is at 368.9 kilometers per second. Planetary K-index is at a 2. A little bit of a coronal hole happening here. We could see that our M-class flare possibility has gone up. It's now at 75%. It was at 60 yesterday. X-class flare was at 5%. We're now up to 20%. If you're in the high latitudes or mid latitudes, there really still isn't a lot of geomagnetic storm activity. However, we will be getting that probably in the next day or so from this flare. And it tells us new sunspot AR 1598 has erupted again on October 23rd at 3:22 Universal Time. Earth orbiting satellites detected a strong X1 class solar flare. NASA Solar Dynamics recorded the flash. Radiation from the flare created waves of ionization in the upper atmosphere over Asia and Australia. The blast did not, however, produce a significant coronal mass ejection. No auroras are expected to result from the blast. And this is the fourth significant flare from AR 1598 since it emerged over the southeastern limb only 2 days ago. So, as you could see, we got a 75% chance we're going to have more of these flares, and we'll pay attention and keep you updated on those. Alright, let's take a look over here at our astrology for today. Alright, we have our moon sign, our sun sign, and our moon sign is today is Aquarius. So we've gone from that void of course, from the void of course moon, we are now into the single sign Aquarius. Aquarius is an air sign. I know it seems like a water sign, but it is not. It is an air sign dealing with communication, words, and actions. The whole idea of Aquarius is again about balancing out our communication. In the tarot cards, Aquarius is represented by the star, which is all about balancing out the unconscious and the conscious worlds through the process of meditation. The Hebrew letter assigned to the symbol on the tarot card Zadi is fish hook, and the idea is you take and bait the hook with some sort of question, and you throw that hook with the bait down into the subconscious mind, and it will come up with the answer. So basically, meditation is a type of technique that allows you to do this, and that's what it is alluding to. Alright, that's where we are there. On the moon phase itself, waxing moon, 86% of the way full, getting closer and closer. The Mayan Oracle, we're at a 5-tone day. A 5-tone day, the kin for today is the star right here in the middle. Above it is the guide, which is the warrior. So today would be a 5-tone star. 5 is the overtone, so the overtone star, guided by the warrior, with the supporting cast of the mirror as the challenge. Like-minded energy is the monkey, and the hidden power is the Skywalker. And you can see where we are in the wave spell here. The theme of this wave spell is about planting. It's the seed. So it's planting seeds to grow. Phrase for today is I empower in order to beautify, commanding art. I seal the store of elegance with the overtone tone of radiance. I am guided by the power of intelligence. And we could see right here we are in the midst of our 10 intense days. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. These are the 10 days of which I speak. We're in the third day of it. These are the days when there's a lot of opportunity for this energy to really, well, it's just hitting in different ways and bouncing off each other. So it's called the Galactic Activation Portal Day. On the Gregorian calendar, it's the 23rd day of October, 2012. Alright, there you have it. So that's what we're dealing with today energy-wise. Now, the magic number for today is 59. 59 days. 59 days until December 21st, 2012. So what is going to happen? Well, here's another bit of information. This is a piece that came out several years back. It's a clip from it, and this has some good information in it for you here. Check it out.
Scattered across the villages of Central America, a race of prophets has existed for over 2,000 years. Their predictions seem to have been strangely accurate. They have seen our generation of mankind hurtling to what may be catastrophe. Reportedly, their calendar marks the precise day of our destruction. The end of time is near, says the ancient wisdom of the Mayans. Anthropologist Barbara Tedlock.
On December 21st, which is the winter solstice in the year 2012, the Maya have prophesied in their books that go back to the 1st century BC that there will be a change, a very large change. We will enter the 5th age.
The 5th age may mark the end of history. It's the final cycle of a pattern the Mayans believe is repeated throughout the eons and terminates in the year 2012. Anthropologist Dennis Tedlock.
What happens in each of the Maya creations and destructions of the world is that lots of the beings that belong to the previous world survive. They go on living, and they serve as a sign to the next people who come along of what happened to those who forgot the calendar.
The Mayan calendar is rooted in historical events. As each cycle of time repeats, happenings of the past serve as omens of the future. Author Scott Peterson.
Calendar priests would record the important events of their time on long books made of papyrus. That was the way that they could then predict what would happen, let's say 400 years in the future. They would look at what happened 400 years in the past and use that as a guide to the future.
The Mayans practiced an ancient form of astrology, using birth dates to guide their entire lives.
If you were born on a certain day, that would be your fate. If you were born on a day that said you were a doctor, then you were a doctor. If you were born on a day that said you were a thief, then you were a thief.
Mayan prophecy has foreseen not only the fates of individuals, but great events of mankind. Their sacred writings may have warned of a conquering army that would invade from a far-off land. Professor of Anthropology David Friedel.
There were events going on at the time the Spanish were first exploring Mexico that would lead one to believe that, in fact, prophecy was being realized. The predictions and prophecies in the Chilambalam speak of the end of the Maya time and the beginning of the time of the foreigners.
Those foreigners committed the great sin that eventually destroyed each cycle of Mayan history, the sin of arrogance.
The Mayans believed everything is sacred. When you don't recognize that everything is holy and everything is sacred, then you lose track of your own place in the scheme of things. When nature and human beings go out of balance, ultimately nature will right the balance. It's the planet itself which is more powerful than the people.
In each Mayan apocalypse, man is punished for the harm he's inflicted on Mother Earth. In making tools and artifacts, the heat and hammering caused pain to the iron and clay, pain that had to be avenged. This holds true for a mythological race ruled the earth long ago.
They looked on the surface very much like ourselves. They grew crops, they had domestic animals. But their heads were really quite empty. They did not remember to say prayers and make offerings. They did not respect the earth.
According to legend, the Mayan prophecy of doom was fulfilled. Mother Earth and her children sought revenge. Tools turned on their creators, and this world erupted in destruction.
Everything the people had made, all of human technology, and that included their domestic animals, rose up against them. Their dogs now talked to them. Their turkeys now talked to them and lectured them about what they'd been failing to do.
The wind roared with fury. There was no escape.
And the earth rose up against them, and their houses caved in on them.
Mayans believe that our fate is sealed. The next cycle will end in the year 2012, and then we too will suffer for mistreating nature. But instead of facing primitive tools, our enemy will be technology. After the final moments of calm, our peaceful world may end.
If you've ever worried about all those things you've got plugged in your house, all those things that are on the power grid that plugs into everything, that food processor in your kitchen, your answering machine and your fax and your VCR, your television, your clock radio. Imagine all of them getting a mind of their own and deciding they don't like you. So the time then to worry about all of these things happening is December 21st, the winter solstice in 2012, according to the Maya prophecies that were written in the 1st century BC. Cats and dogs and caged birds, all of these would come after us. All of them would start talking to us. All of them would turn to attack us. In the previous disaster, it was just tortilla griddles, stone griddles on a fire. Now it could be your waffle irons flying in your face. You're putting stuff into your food processor, and the first thing you know, it's processing you. Your fax machine, you're feeding stuff into it, and the next thing you know, your tie is caught in it. Those are the kinds of things that could happen when everything we've made gets a mind of its own.
Some consider the ancient Mayan calendar the most accurate ever devised. And unlike ours, which concentrates on holidays and phases of the moon from here to eternity, the Mayan calendar has a final date. December the 21st in the year 2012. A day that just might be the last day of our world.
This is the UFO News with Joshua Poet.
All right, Dirk, thank you very much. This is the UFO News. Today I have 4 good stories for us. First one comes to us over Rome, Italy on, looks like the 20th. All right. Says footage of unknown object flying across the night sky above Rome on Saturday. Looks like we have a couple of objects there. There's 2 of them going across. And obviously the person filming is back here. There's a couple of people here. Alright, so what is this? It's not quite a plane. Planes look a little bit different than that. So What is this object over Rome, Italy? Don't know, but the video link's available so you can check it out. Now, moving from Rome, Italy, we go over to Lisbon, Portugal, also on the 20th. These were a triangle formation. Got the 3 red lights you could see, and imagine them being part of one craft. The 3 corners of the triangle. Most likely, it looks like this is the front up here, and this would be the back. So it's not all an equal-sided triangle, but these 2 sides are a little longer. Okay. So this was over Lisbon, Portugal. Next we go over the Ukraine. This was on the 22nd. It's recorded above the sky above Ukraine. It's a country in Eastern Europe. Okay, object in question. Now, what do you think that is? Pretty bright white light there. Okay. We can see it in the distance right here. It's a little blinking. Okay. And when you get close up, you really can see more of this very interesting looking object. Alright. Very interesting indeed over Ukraine. And the last story here, this is a story that asks a good question. A little terminology. What is an exoplanet? Alien life will be found in exoplanets. You've heard this term before during the various shows, but what exactly is that? Extraterrestrial life has always been a topic of hot debate. The latest to add to the list of planets could possibly have life in them are exoplanets. An extrasolar planet, or exoplanet, is basically a planet outside the solar system which is known to have life on its surface. The discovery of exoplanets, especially those in a habitable zone, has been a favorite subject of researchers and research for extraterrestrial life. Recently, astronomers have found the nearest planet outside the solar system, which is just 4 light years away, along with 50 previously unknown planets. One of the planets was found to be in the habitable zone, sparkling off another debate into the existence of life on the planet. The planet discovered is nearly identical to Earth in mass, but is much closer to its star than Mercury is to the Sun, which means that the planet is scorched and barren rock. Amrita Limie, a student pursuing a PhD in particle physics, says that this discovery will lead to many future space telescopes to look for signs of life in the planet's atmosphere by looking for chemical signatures such as evidence of oxygen. The new discovery shows that the pace of research is accelerating, and we shall soon see new telescopes being invented. This discovery is indeed breaking. All right. So there you have it. That's what an exoplanet is, something which is outside of our solar system. And of course, we know that there are millions of planets outside our solar system, so there are millions of exoplanets. All right, there you go. That's our UFO news today. You know, one thing I didn't mention when we were talking about the astrology today, the sun sign has changed, and we are now in the sun sign of Scorpio. Scorpio is a water sign, so this is a time of emotions. And one thing with Scorpio, Scorpio deals with the emotions and things that are way down deep, way down there in the darkness. So that's where the idea of the darkness comes from. It's not because things are dark and scary, it's just things are a bit deeper in the emotional, hidden in the emotional body. So this is a watery time. It's the first day of Scorpio. We'll talk more about that as we continue along over the course of the next several weeks. All right, there you go. That's our UFO news for today. Song time. I'll be right back. Here we go.
What if our government was responsible for some of the greatest crimes against this nation? Would you really want to know? These are big questions, but these questions deserve answers. It's time to demand the truth.
People shouldn't be afraid of their governments. Governments should be afraid.
9/11 was an inside job. Kennedy was killed by the CIA. wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Patriots arise. It's time to demand the truth.
All right. Continuing on. The next piece here is, this is Dr. Paul. And he's talking, this is his weekly update, his weekly report. And this is talking about the internet being a revolution, place of revolution. Calling it the Liberty Revolution. Check this out. Makes a lot of sense to me. What do you think?
Hello, this is Ron Paul with your weekly update for October 22nd. Until the late 1990s, individuals interested in Austrian economics, U.S. constitutional history, and libertarian philosophy had few sources of information. They had to spend hours scouring used bookstores or the back pages of obscure libertarian periodicals to find the great works of Mises, Rothbard, and Hayek, and other giants of liberty. Local library and university collections ignored libertarian politics and economics. Today, however, the greatest classics of libertarian thought, libertarian philosophy, and the libertarian economics are available instantly to anyone with internet access. Thanks to the internet, it is easier than ever before for liberty activists to spread news and other information regarding the evils of government power and the benefits of freedom. For the first time in human history, supporters of liberty around the world can share information across borders quickly and cheaply, without the filter of government censors. This information emboldens millions to question governments and promote liberty. This is why liberty-minded Americans must do everything possible to oppose and stop government attempts to censor or limit the free flow of information online. One such attempt is known as CISPA, or the Cyber Intelligence Sharing and Protection Act. This bill will create a monstrous coalition of big business and big government to rob Americans of their protections under the Fourth Amendment of the Constitution. CISPA permits both the federal government and private companies to view your private online communications with no judicial oversight, provided they merely do so in the name of cybersecurity. But America is a constitutional republic, not a surveillance state, and the widely overhyped need for security does not trump the Constitution. Cybersecurity is the responsibility of companies that operate and make money in cyberspace, not taxpayers. Those companies should develop market-based private solutions to secure their networks, servers, cloud data centers, and user-consumer information. The role of the U.S. intelligence community is to protect the United States from military threats, not to provide corporate welfare to the private sector. Much like the TSA at the airport, CISPA would socialize security costs and remove market incentives for private firms to protect their own investments. Imagine security-cleared agencies embedded at private companies to serve as conduits for intelligence information about their customers back to the U.S. intelligence community while enjoying immunity from any existing civil or criminal laws. Imagine Google or Facebook reporting directly to the National Security Agency about the online activity of the U.S. citizen. Imagine U.S. government resources being wasted on a grand scale to assist private companies in the global market. All this would become reality under CISPA. As of this writing, it appears that the House and Senate will not agree on a final version of CISPA this year. However, the Obama administration seems ready to impose provisions of this bill by executive order if Congress does not act soon. The past 5 years have seen an explosion in the liberty movement, fueled in large part by the Internet. Preserving that freedom is crucial if the liberty movement is to continue its progress. Therefore, all activists in the liberty movement have a stake in the battle for Internet freedom. We must be ready to come together to fight any attempt to increase government's power over the Internet, regardless of the supposed justifications. We must resist voices from both the political right and left which alternately seek to legislate morality and enforce political correctness with force. Copyright protection, pornography, cyber terrorism, gambling, and hate speech are merely excuses for doing what all governments have done throughout human history: increase their size, scope, and power. Once we understand this, we understand the critical link between Internet freedom and human freedom. Thanks for calling this update. A new update is placed on this number, 888-322-1414 every Monday. The written text can be found on my website, www.house.gov/Paul, under the heading Texas Straight Talk. Thanks for calling.
All right, there you go. Some more common sense from Dr. Paul. Dr. Paul. All right, so last night was the debates. Another circus was around, and I'll admit I didn't really watch. There was other things and I was doing, and I flipped back and forth, and I did see bits and pieces of it, but of course nothing new was seen by it. Each time they had the same expressions. Each time they were talking about the same nonsense, doing the same spin that they do. So the election is coming up, and we get a chance to choose between one of these two lesser evils. Neither one of them are worth it. Neither one of them are. Neither one of them are going to do the job that this country really needs to do because they have other interests in mind. Anyway, I'm not going to go into the whole thing with Obama and Romney because, you know what, there's way more interesting things in life, and I think what's going on 59 days from now is much more important anyway. Nonetheless, at this time I always talk a little bit about these things, so here we go. Let's get them out of the way. In Indiana, there's another challenge to Obama and his eligibility. Today, a trial was concluded in Indianapolis, Indiana, this was yesterday, on the issue of declaratory relief and injunctive relief due to Obama's use of a forged birth certificate, a forged selective service certificate, and fraudulently obtained Connecticut Social Security number 042684425. The presiding judge is a Superior Court Judge Sherry K. Reed. For the plaintiffs appeared attorneys Orly Tates and local Indiana counsel Greg Black. For the defense appeared Deputy United States Attorney General Kenneth Joel and Deputy United States Attorney General Jefferson Garn. Over an extremely rigorous objection by the defense, Judge Reed admitted into evidence exhibits and testimony of witnesses Paul Erie and Felito Papa. Mr. Papa testified he had graduated from the Indiana Institute of Technology and had some 20 years of experience with Adobe Illustrator program. He testified that Obama's birth certificate opened in the Adobe Illustrator computer program in 9 layers, which means that's a document which underwent computer manipulation. Mr. Papa testified it cannot be a genuine document, as in 1961 there was no Adobe Illustrator. Birth certificates in 1961 were created not on the computer but with a typewriter. He stated his opinion that this is a forgery. His exhibits showing layers within the documents were admitted into evidence. Mr. Paul Ray testified that he had 57 years experience working for the NSA and later advertising, typesetting, computer graphics program. He testified Mr. Obama's alleged birth certificate is a computer-generated forgery. He presented a large display board which he showed enlargements of all the letters in Obama's birth certificate and demonstrated letters came from different typesetting. So anyway, a decision from the court is expected within a week. We will wait to see what happens there, but we've heard the evidence at the bottom of this. There's a link here going to Sheriff Joe Arpaio's link. You heard all the reports. You know what's going on. At least they're addressing the issue. We'll see what happens. But isn't it kind of crazy that you've got a guy who's being looked at in the courts for his eligibility, while at the same time he's running for office, and there's millions of Americans who are absolutely clueless about the situation with him. Absolutely clueless. And there's going to be a lot of people that are going to vote for him for whatever reason. I'd say probably the strangest reason I heard to vote for Obama, and I got this directly in North Carolina as I was walking through the streets at the Democratic convention. Why are you going to vote for Obama? Here is the most popular answer I got. Obama, hip-hop. Don't know what that means, but that was the most popular answer on what I got out there in North Carolina on why people are going to vote for Obama. Because Obama, hip-hop. I'm telling you, that's exactly what people told me. I've got it on videotape. Obama, hip-hop, and that's why they're going to vote for him. So, there you go. All right. So, now, Mr. Hip-hop, right here, Obama bagged over $2 million in invalid donations. Well, this is all the more reason why he should be running for president. He's obviously good at thievery. In September, the Obama campaign collected $2,199,204.38 in donations with non-existent or invalid zip codes. The Romney campaign in September totaled just $29,000. The revelation comes from the Government Accountability Office report to be issued tomorrow that combed the Federal Election Commission (FEC) data to determine the effectiveness of each campaign's donation security system. The use of a robust address verification system would significantly minimize donations with invalid zip codes from slipping through the net. The GAI President Peter Schweizer: when you use your credit card at a pay-at-a-pump gas station, you have to enter your zip code. Enter the wrong number or none at all, your transaction is denied. If that's the standard to buy gas, surely it's reasonable to expect the same for donating to federal candidates. Obama for America claims it does in fact use an AVS system to process its online donations, as well as a manual to review any transaction flagged by AVS. But as e-commerce experts know, AVS systems have a range of settings that allow wide latitude in determining which transactions will be blocked, which transactions will be accepted. Well, come on now. Obama wouldn't just take donations from invalid sources, would he? Yeah, he would. Yeah, he would. All right. Next, coming up right here. The story is, what's going on here? Let's get the story here. All right, Mitt Romney agreed with Barack Obama so much last night it was shocking. They're both the same. They both have the same backers. People shouldn't be shocked. Mitt Romney clearly came into Monday night's debate with a strategy to hold the lead and appear presidential. He may have managed to do both of those things, but in the process, he seemed to be agreeing with President Obama much more than anyone would have expected. The style was such a contrast from the aggressiveness and effective style he employed in the first debate, it left many pundits scratching their heads. All right? That's because they both have the same backers. They both have the same interests. They both basically work for the same team. That is why they are the same. Americans are very slow in understanding this. So it would be helpful if Americans did understand. You know, I believe that part of our problems in this country would be solved if Americans really knew a little bit more about the history of this country. I think if Americans understood that the United States was a corporation and it became a corporation a long, long time ago, 1871, I think if they knew that Americans would be a little bit more aware of how to deal with what's going on. But most people don't realize we're a corporation. A corporation has a board of directors. A corporation is not run the same as a regular business. This is a corporation. When you get your Social Security number, when it was given to you, it took away your sovereign status. Sovereign status means the rights of the king. Prior to having that Social Security number, you had sovereign status. That number took that away. You now became a member of the Corporation of the United States, and you lost that sovereign power, but you gained the power of the corporation, which means you could pay taxes and all the other laws and restrictions that you were entitled to. The Federal Reserve is the board of directors, is on the board of directors for the United States government. The presidents of the United States do not run anything at all. They are simply put in there for 4 years or maybe perhaps 8 years in order to be the face that you look at that distracts you from looking behind the scenes at the board of directors. If Americans really understood that this was the structure of this country, that it's not set up as a republic anymore, this isn't a democracy, this is a corporation with a board of directors that makes its rules. If Americans understood this, then they wouldn't fight over each other and fight with each other to go through this political process, because this political process is just nonsense when you understand the system in place. It's like the American flag. How many folks out there can tell you when you ask them what the gold trim on the American flag is for? Do you know? The American flag is red, white, and blue, not red, white, blue, and gold. When it has the gold trim, it has a certain meaning. Admiralty law. It means that there is a different rule in place. You see this flag behind the president of the United States when he's doing his talk. You see it in government situations. The yellow trim does not indicate that this is a free country following the rules of the Constitution. It indicates something else. Again, if most Americans really understood what was going on in this country, we'd be so much better off. If most Americans actually understood what happened on 9/11, but because most Americans were fooled by that day, the powers that be continue to fool you, because they figured if they fooled you with that event right in front of your eyes, you'll believe anything. And for the most part, people are believing anything they're told by their government, and some of the things are so awful and so ridiculous that it's hard to imagine people believe them. But goodness gracious, people believe the dumbest things that the government tells them, and then they do their best to justify these stupid things. Stop justifying the stupid things your government does. Your government is not thinking with the best intentions of you in mind. If they were, the president would be a president right now and be doing presidential things rather than being campaigning. The fact that he's out campaigning, is more interested in that than actually running the country as the president, should say a lot for the American people. But again, people are going to go forward blind the way they do, and that's why problems happen. Good things happen, bad things happen when good people say and do nothing. It's time to speak up. If you're one of those good people and you're feeling like a lot's going on, speak up, keep speaking up, and don't stop speaking up. All right, continuing on. This is from Natural News. 10 urgent preparations for possible riots after the presidential election. Now, you've heard this before about possibilities of riots. You're hearing it in the stories from the people on the Obama side and the people on the Romney side, and someone's pushing the buttons out there for a clash to take place. You've probably seen the news all over the net. If Romney wins the election on November 6, many Obama supporters plan to riot in the streets. A surprising number have announced their plans to kill Romney. Simultaneously, FEMA has announced its preparations for an event involving mass casualties. Regardless of who you support in the coming election, the possibility of post-election riots is a reality. Here are 12 things you need to realize right now if you hope to stay safe should an outcome unfold. The riots, number one, the riots will likely occur in the inner cities. So if possible, get out of the inner cities. In fact, you might want to think about moving out of the city altogether. 2, the police will be almost instantaneously overwhelmed. 3, one of the greatest risks from riots is fires, excuse me. It's because looters, rioters love to set things on fire. Next, innocent bystanders may be targeted with violence, so don't be a bystander and you won't be targeted. Primary strategy is simply not to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. 5, don't join in with the riots. No matter what your feeling is, stay home. Don't get caught up in things like that. 6, think long and hard about the possible ramifications of having an Obama sign or a Romney sign in your yard or on your property. If your candidate wins, the haters on the other side of the aisle may take revenge on you or your property. You may wish to pull the sign on election day before the results are publicized and to avoid being vandalized. Okay, something to think about. Stock up on at least 72-hour supply of extra necessities, food, water, medicine, things that you might need should there be any problems because of outages. Okay. Things happen during these situations. If you're in an at-risk area, stock up on pepper spray and bear spray. On election day, stay tuned in. Also, keep checking the alternative media places, the alternative media sites. There's lots of them out there. This Natural News is one of them. First Contact Radio. I mean, on and on. You can go to our site. That's where you're going to find the news. And then finally, the most important one right here, don't be stupid enough to actually make threats against anybody. Okay? That's very important. Look, people act, it's very simple. Psychology. Everything really boils down to psychology. And the more that I look at life and see it the more I'm convinced of this. People are pushed into doing things through their emotions. When your emotions get very high and people make decisions based on emotions, they're not always clear decisions. So when things happen, like a riot, it stimulates emotions. With these elections, with things that are going on, emotions come up, and it forces people into a position to make a decision. Don't make a decision from an emotional place. It's not good. Find a way, take a deep breath, step back, get a clear head, and think from a calm place. Not an emotional place, a calm place where you can use your mind to think about the situation and figure out what's best. Because we're in that time. Who knows what's going to go on these next 59 days? But it's been talked about for a long period of time, and we can already see all the chaos that's going on during this phase that we're in. So we need to pay attention. All right. Now, this piece here it's called Am I Free to Go? This is a piece. It's a truck driver who is coming through a checkpoint on the border between in Texas. And while at the checkpoint, apparently he just had enough. And he decides to use his amendment rights in order to stand up for his rights. So check this out and see what you think about this. Here we go.
Good morning. Am I free to go?
Yes, are you a U.S. citizen?
Am I free to go?
As soon as you answer the question, if you're a U.S. citizen.
Sir, am I free to go?
As soon as you answer the question, if you're a U.S. citizen.
Where's the border at?
It's 50 miles that way, sir.
50 miles?
Yes, sir. Oh. Actually, we're at the 20-mile marker, so it's actually 30 miles.
Yeah. Did I cross it?
No, sir. 2 seconds. Sir, as soon as I'm satisfied you're a U.S. citizen, you can go on your way.
What's your name?
My name is Ethan Donnelly. It's right there.
Donnelly?
Yes,
what's
sir.
your badge number?
I don't have my badge number on me.
How you doing?
Are you doing all right?
Yeah, I'm doing fine. How are you doing, sir?
Good, thank you.
Am I free to go, sir?
Well, sir, we need to find out if there's anybody else with you. Are you holding anybody else with you?
Am I free to go?
Not yet. Not until we find out if you have anybody with you.
I plead the Fifth Amendment, sir.
Really?
Yes, sir.
And why is that? Do you have anything to hide? Are you breaking the law right now?
You tell me. Am I breaking the law?
Do you have anybody else back there?
Am I free to go?
Do you have anybody else back there?
What's your name?
You know what my name is. Yeah, I have a name tag. What is
Zavala? Is that correct?
What is that you're hiding in there? Are you hiding anything? Tell me. Are you hiding anything?
Am I free to go?
Are you hiding anything in there? Tell me. We can stay all day here playing your little game.
Okay.
You have a problem with law enforcement?
I choose not to answer any more questions, sir. Not without a lawyer present.
All right.
Okay.
I appreciate next time you come through here, you be more cooperative so that you can make our job easier. Thank you. You're free to go.
Is being cooperative giving up my rights?
Go ahead.
All right, there you go. So pretty cool, huh? Now, why is it necessary that he does this? He could have very easily gone through and just said, yes, he's an American, no, nothing's in the back. But, folks, we shouldn't have to answer these questions. This is what happened in Nazi Germany. I've heard a lot of people in this country say over the years, what happened in Nazi Germany will never happen over here. Yet the very same people who has said all of those things are the very first ones that will give up their rights when somebody unconstitutionally starts questioning them about things that they shouldn't be questioning them about. People in this country aren't standing up for the things they need to, and because you're not standing up, those people in power who know that are taking advantage of your shyness, of your apprehension. And in your shyness and apprehension, you are losing your rights because there are those out there who don't care about you being shy. There are TSA agents out there who don't care about your shyness and will touch you and your kids because they feel like it. There are agents at the borders here that will ask you questions and that will not care whether you look like an American. They still will ask you questions unconstitutionally. Throughout this country, there's a lot of unconstitutional things that happen, and people every day, Americans, who say that they would never, ever, 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 ever be in the same position as Nazi Germany, put themselves in that exact same position the first chance they have. Because most people in this country talk a big game, but when it comes to actually standing up for the things they say, unfortunately, they don't have the courage of their convictions. Maybe it's from watching too much television and being dumbed down that way, and your confidence goes down. Maybe it's from watching too much news and buying into all the fear stories. I don't know what. But Americans, you got to get a lot braver, and you got to stand up for your rights because they're being taken away from you, and you don't even realize it. And then when someone tells you they're being taken away, you laugh. And that laughter comes out of your lack of knowing what's going on. So your best defense is to not deny and then laugh. The last laugh is going to come from those who are going to put you in jail or put you in places you don't want to be because you are too ignorant to know what's going on. So please pay attention and please stand up for your rights, because if you don't stand up for them, you can't expect that somebody else will. And obviously, they're not. When you have guards that are standing at these gates saying the things that they're saying and demanding information that they know they shouldn't have to ask, there's a problem. They should know better. These guards at the gates, the people around the country running security, they should know better. And if they're not taking the time to learn, that's a problem. Okay, moving along from that. Here's a story comes to us, a space story. Rare star explosion reveals a hidden black hole. Astronomers have spotted a rare X-ray star explosion near the center of our Milky Way galaxy, revealing a previously unknown black hole munching on gas from a neighboring sun-like star. NASA's Swift satellite made the cosmic find last month when it detected a new and rapidly brightening X-ray source a few degrees from the galactic center of the Milky Way. Astronomers identified the outburst as short-lived bright X-ray nova, which is produced when a stream of gas rushes towards either a neutron star or a black hole. Unlike a supernova, which is the explosive death of a star, Novas are smaller explosions that do not completely destroy a star. The black hole is thought to be 20 to 30,000 light years away from the galaxy inner region. Astronomers who named the bright black nova swift after its coordinates in space said witnessing such an event is rare. Okay, so just something, and I'm feeling that they're going to discover more stuff about space, and we're going to hear more things like this over the next 59 days. Okay, now here's some information I want to bring you aware of. This is in regards to 2012, and if you remember last week, Friday and Thursday and Friday, played the piece Carl Kaliman discussing about some of his findings. Well, one of the things he talks about is this wave of energy. Pre-waves of energy, the 8th wave, the 9th wave. So I've got a couple of articles here for you. It says for those of you, let's see. For those of you who have concluded after reading my recent series on the 2012-2013 positive timeline that you are on a positive timeline. Let's see here. Says this wave of unity consciousness, like all universal energy wave emanation, creates the memny or story content of our personal collective reality. Dr. Kellerman's discoveries are suggesting that our highest thoughts and memnies are and may in fact be sourced from the energy waves of the universal singularity mediated through the galactic singularity, the black hole at the center of our galaxy, the Mayans called Hunab Ku. Now, he just mentioned a black hole at the center of the galaxy in this article. And remember the one before? Wasn't that black hole somewhere in the center? So there's some things that are connecting in here. So what this talks about, and this is a long article, basically what this gets into here, it's conscious conversion. This was a wave of unity, is what this was called, and talks about the 8th waves, these 9th waves, and the 8th and 9th waves, they're related to the steps. Remember the graphics of all of these 9 steps, and how each one of them was shorter in time, from millions of years all the way down to a couple of years. And so we're in this final one here, this last phase, right? And part of this, there's a graph here as well that shows the combination of these waves and the waveforms that are going on, the high points, the low points. And anyway, right here is one of these points that is specified, and it's the 23rd of October, which happens to be today. So in light of this, this could be an indicator energetically that there's something going on that we might experience today, a little bit more than normal because of what this wave is all about. So something just to pay attention to, and just something again that confirms what others have been talking about 2012. There's an energy shift going on. There's these waves of energy which are bouncing all over the place, making their way towards the Earth, and we are affected by them. That is why it's important at the beginning of every show we look at the cosmic weather to see what the waves of energy we're dealing with are. So with all of these waves of energy and our ability to process them, this is how we're going to evolve, through utilizing this system. Now, we all have within ourselves the ability to process this energy. So we're going to work on that right now with our meditation. So what I'd like you to do is go ahead and close your eyes, relax, take a deep breath, and exhale. Take another deep breath, hold it, and feel the energy of that breath, and exhale. And just allow yourself to keep breathing in and out, deep breaths, and exhale. And as you do, focus your energy and attention on the first chakra, the chakra at the bottom of your spine. This is the chakra that draws the energy from the earth. It's called the root chakra, and it deals with the issues related to the lower root primal energies. Food, sex, shelter, the very basics, the basic survival instincts. That's what this red root chakra is all about. And from there, the energy rises up higher to the next chakra. And the next chakra is right around the belly button. And this is the chakra that deals with our emotional body. And the color of this chakra is orange. And it's important that we process our emotions. So imagine processing the emotions and the feelings that are going through you. Because by thinking clearly in a non-emotional way, we're able to make the best decisions. So when we process our energy, then you raise that energy up higher, and this time just below the rib cage. And this chakra deals with our intellectual body. And the color of this chakra is yellow. Yellow for the intellectual body. And then the energy raises up higher, and this time right to the middle of our chest, to the heart chakra. And this is our center of love. And the color of this chakra is green. And then the energy raises up higher, and it goes to our throat chakra. This is our communication center. The color here is blue. And then the energy raises up higher, right between the two eyes, between the eyebrows there. This is the third eye chakra. This is the chakra that allows us to see through dimensions of space and time. Color is violet. And finally, the energy reaches the top of your head. This is called the crown chakra, where the energy enters from the top. And the color here is indigo, which is a light purplish color, and as the energy leaves the crown chakra and shoots up into the cosmos, it becomes bright white light. Feel the energy coursing through your body that's channeling through from the cosmos and from the earth. And as it fills your body, you should be able to not only feel the warmth and the coolness of this energy, but imagine seeing all of the multicolors and allow this energy to overflow. Form that spiritual line of protection all around you. And as you sit there, immersed in your own energy, just feel how it feels for all of your chakras to be open, processing the energy around you. Send a message to your higher self. That each and every day you continue to find a way to process the energy better and better. Let your subconscious mind be set on autopilot. Imagine now standing up, and imagine all of this energy all around you. It becomes like a wave beneath your feet. And you begin to surf along on this energy. And as you surf around this energy, along this energy, you feel the energy moving through your chakras, through the energy you're surfing upon and back. And as you do so, you understand the connection to all. And as you're surfing around in the energy, just imagine sending out love to each and every one you pass. To all of the trees and the flowers. To the birds, to any living creature you see. And just throw out love energy all around that goes down and nurtures the planet and goes up into the cosmos. And just continue surfing along on the waves of energy. And allow yourself to get into this mindset of just surfing through the day. And as you're in this mindset of surfing the waves of energy of the day, let's bring our attention back to the present moment on the count of 3. 3, coming back to the present moment filled with confidence. 2, coming back to the present moment filled with faith. And 1, coming back to the present moment happy, healthy, and whole. Happy, healthy, and whole. All right, there you have it. We've made it to the end of another show. Thanks for being here. It's a pleasure. You know, why don't you, if you get a chance, send me some emails. firstcontactradio@yahoo.com. We got 59 days left to go. I'm curious to know what you think might be going on over the course of this next year. We've got the, you can send me the emails. We've got the YouTube channel. If you have any videos or things you think might be interesting, let me know over there. Facebook. Let's just see what's going to go on, because this affects all of us. It's not just a me or some of us. This affects all of us. 59 days away, so let's see if we can really figure it out. Figure out where we're going and what it is we're learning during these times. All right, that's it. I'll be back tomorrow. Have an awesome day. I'll talk to you soon. Peace. I'm out of here.